It's the therapy. It's me going through therapy, honey. That made me stronger, along with my faith, honey. That made me strong. I just, I don't let stuff get to me like that. And you would think that, I would. And it's funny too, and I have a friend, he went through cancer. He and I both going through cancer at the same time. We were classmates. We both from the same hometown and both wound up living here. And I mean, we would talk every day. When he was going through his chemo, I was getting out of mine. Or when he was going, I was getting out of mine, he was going. So that helped me out a lot too, I have somebody here to talk to. Because I don't really have a lot of friends here.
Welcome to another delicious, delectable episode of Yummy Podcast, where we savor life's inspiring stories on a quest to help you find your ultimate, most meaningful yet. I'm your co-host, Crystal Khalil.
And I'm Dr. Nicole LaBeach. And who do we have with us today? Entrepreneur, media personality, voice to the T, to let you know what is going on. We love him. Activist, we love him. Friend, we love him.
Philanthropist,
Son, we love him. Philanthropist, Gary with the T.
Oh my God, I'm like, girl. I didn't know all that, but yeah.
Yes.
How y'all doing? How you doing, Chris? How you doing, Dr. Nicole?
I'm good.
Gary, we're so glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here, honey. I am really glad to be here, finally.
Let me tell you something. And I told Gary this before we came on stage. The enemy tries so hard to keep us from talking with Gary.
Yeah.
We did a live on Gary's podcast. The computer wasn't working. Girl. The internet, we were freezing. All we could hear was We like,
time.
Come on, Jesus. We need you to fix this.
I'm going to be honest, honey. I have a budget podcast, honey. Y'all got a good production.
Gary.
Mine
God is good.
God is good.
Honey. Yes, he is, honey.
But have y'all ever experienced something where it's going to be good because the enemy tries so hard to keep you from it? Yeah, I said, this has got to be amazing. And then we invite you to ours. You have trouble with your flight. We're like, come on now.
Like, what's going on?
What is going on?
But you are here.
You are here, and I can't wait to see what you share with us.
Oh, Lord, honey. I tell you what, though, honey, like I said, I'm glad to be here, first of all, honey. And, and it's amazing, though, how that happened. But and then when it was time to come, I'm like, hell, I'm tired. But you know what I said? Satan, get behind thee.
Yes, and don't push.
Yes,
and don't push.
Don't. So I said I had to get here, and I'm here, and I'm glad to be here with y'all, too, honey. So this is it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
The best moments and the best surprises in my life that God has given me is when I pushed through. Right? You had them times where you be like, oh, Lord, I'm tired. I don't want to go to this event. I don't want to go to this.
I don't have an outfit to wear, and I got a closet full of clothes. Yes. But you're just like, honey, the hell.
Ooh.
Well, we are delighted that you're here. And we can't go any further until we share something that we do with everybody. Put your hand in front of your face like this, Gary. Now wiggle. We call it the wiggle. Wiggle like
Wiggle
this.
it.
Now you can take the mask off and put it in your lap.
Ooh.
That mask of roles, expectations, what people think. Because we want to hear what your soul has to say.
Does your soul have permission to speak?
Yes, my soul have been redeemed.
Yes.
Has permission to speak.
Now, Gary, do you need to do it one more time? Because sometimes we wear
got
multiple
more than one. We trying to trick folk, and we got to put it down.
So y'all just really want me to tell them, well, I'm a drag queen?
Tell them
what it is. I'm going to just tell her, confess. Tell I'm a drag queen at night.
We want your soul to have a platform. And we know this platform is not big enough.
Yeah.
Because you speak your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very tactful, though, honey. I speak my mind, but, I try not to hurt feelings, honey, because there's a way, some people speak their mind and just don't care. Yeah. But I'm like, you got to be kind of, you got to still be tact and have a little tact and be kind.
Yeah.
With it. So, but I speak my mind.
Yeah. Well, Gary, we know that you're always sharing the tea, right?
Yes.
We want to know who Gary is without the tea. Who is your yummy self? Now, yummy is our acronym for your ultimate, most meaningful yet. So who is Gary without the T?
Who is Gary? You know what, Crystal, I am, to be honest with you, some people say what you see is what you get, and that's me. What you see is what you get. Now, I mean, I'm a very kind person, a very nice person. I'm under the sign, I don't know if y'all go by Zodiac, which I don't, but people always bring it up. Cancer, June. And I feel that I'm a caring person. I'm a very nice, caring person. And, I like to put people ahead of me. And why do I do that? I often wonder. I mean, I often ask my psychiatrist why, but I always put people first. And I like treating people the way I want to be treated. But what I learned was when I was in a relationship, honey, everybody don't want to be treated like you want to be treated.
We just had that conversation.
I did not know that until I was going through a breakup. I didn't know that. When I was going through a breakup and, and I'm like, well, why my friend don't want to do this and, have this? I mean, I thought you want a better life, blah, 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 and stuff like that. But then he didn't want that. And I wasn't upset about it. But I learned that everybody don't want to be treated the way you want to be treated.
Well, what need were you trying to fulfill by treating him that way?
Well,
for yourself, an internal need.
I mean, because I thought, because we both were from different backgrounds, first of all. And, one thing I learned, I'll never forget what Oprah had said one time, that everybody come from dysfunctional families. But I say, I may have come from a dysfunctional family, but his was a little bit more dysfunctional than mine. And I thought that, if I were to show him, a better way of doing things and having things and, just acquiring different things, that he probably would like that. But he was on drugs too. So that was really his drug life, because he wound up being a good person. And I thought with me sharing me with him and showing him that, he could have good things, that he would like it. But it's not that he didn't like it, but he didn't receive it well.
So sis, as you're talking about a free mindset, it's opportunity for swag. Yummy
check.
Swag. Our shirts today say free women.
Free women.
You get it?
Free women. Free women.
I'm just putting that out there. Carry on. Continue.
You can get your free women t-shirt at crystalanddrnicole.com, or you can check the show notes below to find the link.
So
we talk about part of having a yummy life is ensuring that those who have access to you have a level of responsibility for that access. Because people that don't have responsibility but have access tend to do what they want to do without any consideration for boundaries or any of the things that are really important. So how have you experienced the conversation of boundaries for yourself?
You know what, Dr. Nicole, and that's something that I still haven't said. Because you know what I think, because sometimes I look back at it and it's not like, lack of a better word. You say, I blame my parents because of this. Because I was raised, you're supposed to be nice to people, treat people nice. Oh, you put people first and, you don't do this, you don't do that and stuff. And you don't set those boundaries. But now I'm seeing more of that as an adult, especially with my colleagues and stuff, that, they kind of have these boundaries set. Because I felt if I set a boundary, you're going to think you're all that. You know how we do. Oh, you think you're all that. And so I just pull back. And I just kind of, to an extent, let people run over me or run on and stuff like that. But now, the older I get, I'm, getting more wise about that. I'm like, Because I done lost a lot of friends by saying, Because for instance, I have friends that come visit me from my hometown, because I'm from Texas. Well, I had a friend that came and I was doing something that weekend. So I said, well, I can't get with y'all right then, but I'll get with y'all later on. Well, honey, they said, we'll fix your ass up. So when they came to town, they didn't even call me.
Oh, wow.
Now, I talked to them the day before. They didn't call me when they got to town, and they said, if you're going to find out what we did, you're going to find it out on Facebook like everybody else have to find out.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And we hadn't talked now in like a year and a half now.
Wow.
But because I just said those boundaries, I was so busy rolling out the red carpet to them. I rolled it out to all my friends. When my friends come to town to visit me from Texas, I make sure, honey, they have a good time. I make sure they meet a celebrity. I make sure, we do something, because you're not going to do that in my hometown. I'm from the country. So you would never get this opportunity. But people take advantage of you, and then you sitting there like, I don't believe this happened, but it did happen. And that made me realize that, okay, honey, I'm going to fix y'all. I have to set boundaries, but I'm just implementing it slowly. And I'm cutting friends out slowly.
Ooh.
So,
You know, we talk with our tribe often about the things that we inherit from our parents and our circle of influence. You know, scientists say our belief system is set by the age of 6 years old.
really?
Yeah, we receive from our circle of influence, church, our family, the community, the school, where we live, right? The things that we're told that's gonna make us a good girl, a good boy, right? The affirmations we receive. And so a lot of those things you said are passed down to us, right? That you gotta people please, you gotta make other people happy. And so we spend our life overdoing, compensating, manipulating, trying to get people's love, trying to gain their affirmation. And at the end of the day, it depletes us. It leaves us overwhelmed. It leaves us exhausted. And when we do our work and we say, okay, I'm going to put boundaries in place, then you really see what negotiated agreements you have with the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all of the good you've done over the years, that one moment.
Yeah.
And honey, everybody just forgot all the good you did. Which my mama's always told me, she said, people like you as far as they can see you. So when you go around the corner, you can't see me no more. That's how much you like me. So I learned, you know, that it's a sad situation.
Nicole's mom, what was that one that your mother said about the friends and foes?
Yeah, your friends are your friends until they know. For whenever your friends become your foe all over the world, your secrets shall go.
That's right. Woo. Oh, yes, honey. Oh, yeah.
You know, and when she said that to me, her experience was that of a lot of betrayal. So she thought she was protecting me and giving me some insight to make sure I don't connect too much with people. I don't put myself out there, all of those things. But I realized as an adult, it was in part because she didn't know how to show me how to be loved without some of those dangers being prominent and prevalent in every relationship. So for example, we talk about trust, Gary, and we talk about, you know, most of us, we learned how to trust by folks saying, I trust you until you give me reason not to. That's the worst.
You start out with 100 and deplete.
Right. That's the worst way to trust a person. Instead of saying, let me see what your worthiness of trust is and what I want to trust you with.
Yeah.
We're letting them drive our car and don't even know if they have a license.
Yeah, well, honey, I did that, letting my coworker drive my car until it came back on a tow truck. But honey, it's just... I have a trust. I don't like to say I have a trust issue, but I do have a trust issue. It's so hard for me to trust. You know, and I was told, you know, a friend of mine told me, she said, always say, but Gary, did you ever make bad grades in school? I'm like, yeah. She said, didn't you go back to make them better? I was like, yeah. She said, okay. The same thing. I'm like, but
with a qualified teacher.
Nah.
With a qualified
but thank you.
teacher. Yeah. And that's what we're saying. Yeah. People think they have trust issues. They just trusted people who shouldn't have been trusted
because they had no evidence. They had no evidence that they could be trusted with that.
Yeah, but like you said, too, that's what we was taught, and you just think this. Because I'm like, I just, if you say one thing to me out of context, I don't trust you no more. And I feel bad about it, but I didn't ask you for that lie. I didn't ask you for that lie.
It was a voluntary lie.
Yeah, I didn't ask you for that lie.
I can't stand a voluntary lie.
So you just say one thing, you lie to me just one thing, you know, just something small. Why? I didn't ask for that. So it says, now it's hard for me to trust you because why did you have to do that? You didn't have to do that. So,
sometimes it's conscious, sometimes it's subconscious. Because you know what? We talk about people having challenges being authentic.
Yeah.
Now, when we see you, Gary, and you are giving us the tea, we are like, you getting it right off of the dome. You getting it right
Uncle Gary.
Uncle Gary is giving you the real, right? But people struggle with being authentic.
Yeah.
Honey, I work with people like that.
For you?
Well, I have a problem. Now, I know everybody can't just come out and just put everything out there. I'm not asking you to just tell me everything, all your business. But damn, I work with people like that. I'm just like, Why? I mean, why? Because I'm like on the shows that I do, I am me. You could throw all the mud at me, everything at me, honey, and it'll just roll off me because it doesn't bother me because I know who I am. Yeah. But I have people that I work with just cannot take it. They cannot deal with it. I'm like, why? And I think maybe too, maybe because I was and still go to a psychiatrist, a therapist. That's probably why I could deal with it, because it took me a while, and I've been seeing my therapist for over 20 years. So I could, I could take the stuff. It don't, it doesn't bother me.
People will hear you say that and think about, well, what's wrong with him? Why he need a therapist for 20 years?
I'm bipolar. So I've been taking lithium for almost 30.
Wow.
So, I mean, when I was in high school, I had I say it's an episode, then we didn't know what it was at the time, but I had an episode, and I'll never forget, I went to the cafeteria. I was just taking cinnamon rolls and was just eating them. So they didn't know what was going on. So the nurse called my dad at work, and my daddy came to get me. They thought I was on drugs. They thought, my dad said, "Are you smoking weed?" I'm like, "No." So nevertheless, we went to the doctor. I'm just skipping over a lot of it, but they took me to the doctor. The doctor said I needed glasses.
The glasses were making you eat cinnamon rolls.
One doctor said I needed glasses, and one doctor said I had hypoglycemia. Because, I get with the hypoglycemia, that's kind of all deal along the lines with that stuff, with bipolar, the chemical imbalance. But nevertheless, so I went through that phase, and then I went through my senior year, and I moved to Houston. And in Houston, was it Houston or was it Dallas? It was Houston. I later on in life, I had another episode. My friends found me wrapped up in a blanket in the ball in my apartment. And because they hadn't heard from me like a day or so. So they got me out, the apartment manager came and got me out the apartment. They took me to the hospital. When I got to the hospital and when I woke up, I was on the psychiatric floor.
Wow.
They had me on the psychiatric floor. So I stayed there, and, the doctor came, diagnosed and whatever and stuff. And they said, it was bipolar, was chemical imbalance. That's what they called it, bipolar. So we went through that phase. So my parents came up to visit me, to see me, because my parents live in Port Arthur, Texas. So when the doctor talked to my parents, and with me, we had a meeting. So he told my parents, which was good for me, he told my parents that he thought that I wanted to tell them I was gay. I'm like, I didn't want to tell them that, but I'm glad we did.
Was it okay?
So they told the doctor told my parents, and it helped me out so much, because with that helping me, with them, at least with him telling them that, that helped me out so much. Because my dad said, well, I got 7 sons. He said, I don't care for the lifestyle, but I love them all the same.
Oh,
and my mom, and they said, and honey, that just freed me.
Oh, wow.
That's how I was able to be me. And I know I'm jumping around stuff, but I think that's one of the reasons, with my parents accepting me, that's what made me where I'm at today, because I could be me. And that's why a lot of kids today, some of them commit suicide, they do all kinds of drugs and do all kinds of, because they're not accepted. My parents accepted me, so that helped me out tremendously.
That's yummy, and that's beautiful, because, we often talk about how the enemy whoops our tail in silence, right? When it's just us and we're trying to hold it in and deal with it inside, that's where you have the most opportunity for depression and, like you said, suicide and all overwhelm and all those things. So what you're saying is the doctor freed you.
He freed me. Yes, he did, because I don't know how I would have told him. I don't know how I would have told my parents that, so that helped me out so much. And that's and I tell people all the time that, like I said, it got me where I'm at today, honey. That's why I'm able to do why I'm able to do my radio and TV career and just be me.
The truth shall set you free.
I don't have to hide behind nothing. I got to try to play like I'm and I'm not. That's not who I am.
Isn't it yummy to feel a sense of freedom? Like you're not living to the beat of everybody else's drum, because everybody's got a drum and everybody beats at a different cadence and has a different rhythm. So when you're just moving to the beat of your own drum, whatever sound you make, however you are moving to that beat is very different than the chaos of trying to do what everybody wants you to do. Oh, yes.
That's why I say I love it. That's why I say I could just be me. And, and the thing is, though, too, And I mean, because we're in a different society now with, you know, lifestyles and the LGBTQ and everything like that. But my thing is, and I don't, my psychiatrist always tell me, you're different. You're different gay. You know, because with me, I don't do a lot of the things they do. I don't, you know, people do, and I don't, like, say for my parents never see me in a relationship. I have never brought a man home. Never. And my brothers have never seen me with a guy, and I never even talk about it with them.
Really?
That's just me, because I was raised to respect myself and I respect my parents. You know, even though me and my parents, my dad is deceased now, but my mom and I, you know, honey, we live next door to each other. But I just don't believe, that's just me.
You all live next door to each other, and she's never met a partner.
Because I don't bring guys home. I don't. Because I mean, and this, I know y'all, this might sound crazy. I know I may be going all over the place. But I mean, for me, one of the reasons why I never brought anybody home, because my thing is, in certain lifestyles, even during heterosexual lifestyles, too, you know, you switch mates. I'm not going to do all that, bringing a different guy home every day. Oh, this is my friend. Oh, this Leroy, this Charles, this Bucky. No.
Did he say Bucky?
Bucky. So I'm not doing all that. So until I feel, and I haven't found, you know, just a good person yet, you know, I'm not going to do all that. You're not going to be exposed. It's just like, and I mean, this may sound crazy, it's just like a relationship, say, but I know a certain celebrity who dated guys, and this is a woman, she dated guys, you date these people and you're in a lifestyle, certain lifestyle, and then they want to be a star. Your ass was picking up trash, stay doing that. I'm the star, you pick up your trash, but we can still be together. You see, so I'm not going to sit here and do that and make you the star or what have you, and then you put me down or whatever. You know what I'm saying? People try to make maximize you or minimize you at least. You know, so until I get to where I want to be and think I got somebody that's more equal to me, I'll expose you, but not, no.
So this life that you're living from a professional standpoint, you know, being on television and being on the radio and all of the things that you've done have made you very public from the standpoint that we hear the tea and we think for sure we know you. We think we know what you're going to say. We think we know what you're going to do. But behind the persona and behind your career, you are a Black male of a certain age who's lived a full life. At this point in your life, when we say your ultimate, most meaningful yet, what is that for Gary? What does that mean for you?
My ultimate most
meaningful yet.
Because we do a lot of good things, right? But what is your ultimate most meaningful yet?
Well, I mean, out of relationship wise, taking care of my mama. You know, a friend of mine told me, she said, you know what, Gary, after your daddy died, it's like you just stepped in and took off where he left. You know, I mean, before my parents died, I went to them, I said, well, y'all want me to buy y'all a house? Which my parents, we had a house. My dad was a mortician. And, you know, we lived a decent life, a good life. But I wanted to do that for them. So my dad said, oh, no, he didn't hard, because, you know, I didn't have to break down and all that stuff. He felt like, oh, we don't kind of put that on. So I said, okay, but anyway, I bought him a vehicle. But after he died, I went to my mama. I said, well, do you want a house? She said, well, if you're going to buy it, I'll take it. So, I mean, she went look for a house. She found a house that she liked, and I bought it. I had it financed for 30 years. I paid it off in 3.
All right now.
Come on now. Come on.
Yes.
The
doctor that lived next door to her where she lived, he died, and I bought his house for me.
Wow.
So that you guys
we live next door to each other.
I celebrate that.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. Hi, I'm Crystal Khalil.
And I'm Dr. Nicole LaBeach.
Are you the woman that is serving everyone else? You know, you're the one that everybody calls when they have an issue. You're serving in the community, at work, at home, but you're not quite sure who's there for you.
Listen, if you know that there's more, you've been feeling that, and you want to move into your next with purpose, you need to join us at Woman Unlimited Live.
We help high-achieving women like yourself unbind and unleash their unlimited potential.
So this is your time, and we look forward to seeing you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
You know, I'm curious about something, Gary. We talk to our tribe, the ladies in our tribe, about the roles we play as children, right? And there's 4 roles we typically play.
Yeah.
The brilliant one, the one that's got good grades, or they're the sports star, or they're being affirmed for what they can do, a high achievement. Or the caretaker that's looking out for everybody else, taking care of their siblings, taking care of parents, putting themselves, second. They're the selfless ones. Or the sickly one that is always, they need somebody to take care of them. They either have physical, mental, or they just are needy in certain ways. Or the destructive one.
Oh.
They get attention because
in trouble.
They are always in trouble. They're the ones the teacher's calling about, right?
Yeah.
Which one were you as a child, and how is that showing up for you today?
Oh, which one was I as a child? I was, I guess, the one that always took care of.
You're the caretaker.
Yeah, I was the caretaker. But it's funny. I think as an adult, I could have had duo roles: the caretaker and the sickly one. Maybe.
And they do morph into
which because I had cancer. I went through cancer, through colon cancer. I went through that deal, and but my mom, she came and took care of me, helped me out, so like that. But I didn't wallow in that. I didn't wallow in it. I mean, I went through it and came straight through, but
Praise God.
But as a child, I guess that was that one, honey. And I told you to have the one about the one that talked too much in school, because that's all I did. My report because they talked too much in class. So I guess that talking paid off. I would have never thought.
Exactly.
But I was more the one that because I never forget when I didn't even have any money, which I still don't have none. But I always would give to my parents because that's just how we were raised. Like me and my brother used to cut yards with my uncle. He had a landscape business. And honey, we used to give $25 a week to the house. That's what my mama had us doing. And as I got older and started making my own little money and stuff, and I would always give them a little money off my income tax check. I don't know, I was always that way. And I'm still that way today with her. And so sometimes I get mad, but I'm like, you got 4 more other sons. Hell, they do something. But my other brothers are married. You see, so they got wives, and them wives don't play that, honey. Look, your mama got to wait. But I just
man.
Wow.
But it sounds like you're like that with your friends and family too.
That's the problem. I'm like that, but you know what, Crystal? I don't, and I'm like that with my friend because I feel I don't know why, and I never just go off and say it like, oh, I just feel I'm just so blessed. I never just go out and say that, but I know deep down, I'm blessed, and I don't have a problem with helping because I have resources. I know how to get stuff. And share with them and stuff like that. So I don't have a problem doing it.
How do you bounce back? Because some of the things that you've mentioned, cancer, bipolar disorder,
relationship with somebody on drugs.
Yeah. I mean, those are things that for most people, it's going to take you out for a season. Or it's gonna really wrestle you as it relates to your faith, your values, what you believe, all of the above. How have you gone through those things and bounced back to be to the point where you're still standing?
It's the therapy. It's me going through therapy, honey. That made me stronger, along with my faith, honey. That made me strong. I just, I don't let stuff get to me like that. And you would think that, I would. And it's funny, when I have a friend, he went through cancer. He and I both going through cancer at the same time. We were classmates. We both from the same hometown and both wind up living here. And I mean, we would talk every day. When he was going through his chemo, I was getting out of mine. Or when he was going, I was getting out of mine, he was going. So that helped me out a lot too, I have somebody here to talk to. Because I don't really have a lot of friends here. I have a lot, like they say, a lot of associates or what have you, stuff, people, you talk to, but he's a real friend because, we grew up together and we both happen to be here. But I just don't let stuff get to me. And I know it's probably, like I said, we're talking earlier about shopping. I just go shop.
Shop therapy, retail therapy.
I just go shop, girl, honey. I go buy me an outfit or something, honey. And this is the truth, y'all. Dr. Nicole, I feel bad, y'all. I go buy stuff and walk in the house and just drop it at the door. I feel bad, but that's what I do. And then I pick it up eventually, and put it in a room or whatever.
But it's a temporary fix.
Yeah, it's a temporary fix. Because I could be doing drugs, running men, or doing any other sort. So my thing is shopping, whatever. Like they said, if you could afford it here, it's not that bad, I guess. So.
But I want to talk a little bit about friendship.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Right? Because we know, Facebook, great. Social media, great. We utilize it.
Yeah, we do.
We are blessed by it. It gets a lot of people connected. No shade on that. But the word friend has taken on such a different context than the yummy of friendship. When you talk about having a friend that knows your hometown, they know who your neighbors were. They probably were your neighbor.
Exactly.
Right? And you're going through cancer and they're lifting you up and you're lifting them up. That's a yummy friendship.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who really don't even see the value of it, or they've not experienced the value of it? They're just seeking to be known, famous, recognized.
When you say the value of, you mean the value of friendship? Oh, well, I was a saying, a friend in need is like a friend indeed. Right. And my thing is, I would love to have friends, in the quote thing, but to me, a friend is a friend. Like, if I don't talk to you every day, I can pick up the phone and call you, and we just take off where we left off at. And you know me like I know you. To me, that's more of a friend. Not like you send to Facebook and all that good stuff, honey. They say yes, you're friends on it, and that's fine, But I think your true friends. I always say sometimes if I had just maybe 2 friends here from my hometown with me, like my friend Kenneth, that's friends, that's good. But then some people say you have 1 friend, that's more than enough. But I think we use friend in the wrong context, and that's a sad thing about it. But my friends always tell me, Gary, all these people that say they're your friends, honey, they're your friends now since you are Gary with the T. Because everybody want to be associated with a winner. But
well, this is such an interesting conversation because you've identified yourself as the caretaker, right? And oftentimes when we meet the brilliant one or the caretaker, the question is, who takes care of you, right? And who is there for you without the things that you can do? Not just for what Gary can do, but for who Gary be.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I promise you I ask that question all the time, but I just keep moving for the most part. Because like they say, sometimes the strong get weak, and people don't realize that. Hell, I have my weak moments too, but the sad thing about it is, if that's lack of a better word said, I just don't go to people too much about it because you can't do nothing. For the most part, it's just hard. What can you do? If I come to you, do you want to, if I tell you what's really going on with me, say for instance, when I was going through my cancer experience, I didn't call people. Now, we talked about it on the radio and I talked about it on TV, but because what you gonna do? 'Cause for me, I don't know, maybe it might sound crazy, but for me, I don't want you coming around with all the negative this and you always sad. You're not sad. Because sometimes your ass probably hoping I die, so that he's gone now, girl. We can go ahead on and live. But it's just, I'm just not there yet. Because I already know how people are, and I know they got some real genuine people out there and stuff. But I don't. This is how I live like this too. And this may be skipping the word up. If you do something for me, I'm gonna be damn sure to do something right back for you. And I don't do a tit for tat, but I'm sorry. That's just how I am. Because you are not going to say, you remember, because I can't say this on y'all show, but how black people are, we remember winners. Remember when I gave you some water? Remember when I told you the sky was blue?
Remember winners.
Yeah, so you're not going to do that with me.
You know what? It's so interesting because the brilliant caretaker often creates scenarios where there aren't a lot of people that they can trust. There aren't a lot of people they can call friend, and they don't realize that they're doing it. What they really think is all of the people that are around them have just shown up short and able to support them. When what we have figured out over the years is a lot of times we've dwarfed people. We've made it difficult for them to even learn how to show up for us because we're brilliant caretakers.
Well, as a caretaker, Gary, so I'm a brilliant one that turned into a caretaker as I grew older, right? But as a caretaker, we look for people that need to be cared for.
Well, but hell, I don't go out looking for them.
But your actions, right? You just said
energy is transferable. It's coming through your pores.
You just said if you give me something, I'm gonna give you something, right? And so we attract those that need to be cared for. When we're caretakers, we attract those that need to be cared for. And like Nicole said, you feel like they just show up, but no, they don't. You attract that energy because that's what affirms you. It's been affirming you since you were a little boy, taking care of people. As you took care of people as a little boy, they said, "Oh, Gary's so sweet. He's so nice. He's always looking out for people.
He is amazing."
Well, I need to stop that then.
As brilliant ones, we attract those that need to be fixed. Because we high achievers, we fix everything.
I guess so. It's almost like a person that's attracting yourself. Well, how you staying with these damn broke men?
You're pulling them in.
Oh my God!
Right? You using the bait that catches catfish, telling everybody you're trying to catch a bass.
And and you know what? Wait, can we take a swag break?
Yeah,
swag break. So Gary, we wear these T-shirts, right? Mine says,
"Yummy swag."
Feelings are not facts.
And mine is the yummy. But that feelings are not facts.
Feelings are not facts.
Really?
What does that say to you?
Feelings are not. Oh, well, really difficult. Feelings are not a fact that is really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is it?
So we had to figure out. We were saying, I got a Rolodex, a phone full of people. But when I need something, who can I call? Everybody calls me. I got all these text messages. Everybody calls me to fix something, to do something. But when I need something, who do I call? We had to stop and say, now, wait a minute. Only thing that's consistent in that conversation is you. If everybody is calling you for something, but there's nobody that you can call, what has happened where nobody has practiced muscle in looking out for you? Because you always got the muscle in looking out for everybody else. So when you need help, half of the time you even call somebody and they're shaking because they're like, I don't know how to help you.
Because I done crippled them?
Yes.
Oh,
and you have no practice in receiving.
Yeah, and I don't. Well, but that's the case, like we were saying earlier, so as it was something I could say, as a child and whatever, we was raised in, help and do this and don't look at it about, being all that like people would say you were and stuff. So so that was something that happened and I need to.
We gotta give people the opportunity to learn how to win with us. Because we are winners to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we cheat them of the opportunity. We the Hulk when it comes to taking care of folks.
Well, what we do then?
We give them the opportunity to show up for us step by step.
And build the muscle.
And build that muscle with us.
And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right. Because we'll take it over in a heartbeat.
Yes. Because by the time I show you how to do this, I can do it myself.
Well,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And stop and say, you know what? If I want some people to be able to be there for me, I got to let them be there for me. Because if I don't let them be there for me when I really, really, really need them to be there for me, they won't know how. The reason I know how to be there for them is because I've had a lot of practice.
And that's the difference between walls and boundaries.
That part.
Walls keep the bad things out, but it also keeps the good things out.
Walls.
The walls that say, people, what they gonna do for me? What they gonna do? They can't come over. How they gonna help me?
They can't cure me of cancer.
Right.
They can't reverse this diagnosis.
Yeah, so stay on over there on the other side of the wall.
That part.
Right? Instead of saying, I need some support right now, but I don't need pity.
Right.
Exactly.
So I can take some support. You can bring me some food. You can come sit with me. We can kiki and ha-ha and have a good time. I just don't need your pity. right? That's a boundary that says, I want to be in connection with you. I want to allow you to see me and serve me the way I see and serve you. But I'm not putting up a wall that keeps you over there and out of connection with me.
Well, what about, in the case too, where I'm always saying too, I don't want you to remind me. I don't want to be put on the thing where, when you remember I did this for you, because I don't do that.
But people that are genuine are able to mirror effectively what we're presenting to them. So if I show up in a kind and meaningful way with you, they're able to show up in a kind and meaningful way with us. The challenge becomes when we've got such big muscles in this area of taking care of everybody. Folk that don't even need to be taken care of, we're like, what you need?
Right.
Yeah.
What can I do for you? How can I help you? How do you need me to serve you? We start the conversation. They haven't even asked for anything.
Yeah.
But we start with that because that's how we're affirmed. It's okay to say, you know what? In 5 years, I want to be able to have a community of people that are really down for me, that are good to me, they're good for me. It's not about the fame. It's not about the tea. It's just about Gary. And I'm reciprocal in their lives the same way. I want that in 5 years.
That's the yummy right there, Gary.
5 years is a long time.
You could have that.
Building it.
Yes.
Right? Slowly.
That's
so
the
that you can
yummy
see
relationships.
who folk are. Because you need to see them and they need to see you. If that's the goal, the yummy is taking the journey step by step. Where my first time needing you is not when I have a cancer diagnosis. My first time needing you is when I'm intentional about letting some people into my life because I know I want a yummy future in relationships, real relationships. So I start letting people into my life incrementally. I'm not taking them to the Oscars. I'm not taking them to the Grammys.
I'm not introducing them to my mama.
I'm not doing all of that stuff that requires muscle. I'm saying, let's start this with a 2-pound weight. Then let's go to a 5-pound weight because my muscle can do 150 in this caretaking thing, but I don't even let you pick up 2 pounds. And then when I need you, everybody's got muscle atrophy.
And and that's funny you said it too. And that's kind of how it really was too with when I was in that relationship. Because my friend, I was trying to do everything, but like I said, cause the dysfunction. So I'm like, oh, well, you don't have to work right now. I'll work and you just get yourself together and blah, blah, blah. And then when we would go out to events and people would say, that Gary with the T. And it was like he would give me away, like, yeah, that's him and stuff like that. I'm like, why the hell would you do that? And stuff like that. But as the relationship was ending, and he went to another relationship and started flourishing, I said, you know what? So I guess it was a meeting because he really wanted to be the man, but he couldn't be the man because I was doing everything, but I was being sympathetic with him. So, and so that's interesting. You think it's funny. I guess maybe
that, Gary, we have had, this has been an amazing conversation. And I truly believe it's going to bless some people. We knew coming in this was going to be really good. Because it's a lot of people struggling with people pleasing, struggling with being the caretaker and not having a circle of people that can support them. If you think about everything we've talked about during this episode, what would you say is the yummy that awaits Gary?
You know what? I think, maybe I need to sit back and, and just, and let people be themselves instead of, trying to just jump for it and, like you said, be the muscle, all the time. Because I never thought of it like that, But then I thought, like you said too, I'm like, I just go do it myself instead of waiting along. But sometimes, you have to just let a person be who they are because I know who I am. And I'm just always like, I can handle it.
You can handle it because you've had practice. But to hear you say, maybe I just need to let them build some muscle.
That's
but but the thing is though, too, Dr. Nicole, but I'd be like, I think sometimes people may just be playing it out knowing that I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, so,
I would too. Why
I think-
am I gonna pick up a 150-pound weight if you're gonna pick it up?
you know what? Now that bell is just ding, ding, ding.
Right. Right.
So,
When we give them I heard a teacher say this once. She said, grit is an amazing skill. She said, and we have to recognize when we lower the bar, we serve no one. No one gets served when we lower the bar, because what I'm really saying is when I see you, I don't see any capacity. When I see you, I don't see any future progress. So let me lower this bar and get it all the way down to the floor.
it's almost like an insult.
It
We don't
is.
see it that way, but it is.
I guess.
So you giving the opportunity, you saying
Yeah.
what I think might be ahead,
Yeah.
is me giving some people just the opportunity to practice and lift some muscle.
And I learned too, you rob them of their blessing, because we
Exactly.
know to give, right? Giving is its own reward. You
Yeah.
always receive. But when we don't allow other people to serve us, we rob them of their
And
blessing.
I've heard this so many times, and I'm trying to be better. They call it blocking their blessings.
Yes.
So I don't want to block people's blessings, but I just feel good doing it.
Yeah.
But I guess I need to just not feel so good and just let people.
So that you can have a community where all of you can feel good together. Because at
Exactly.
some point, you do sit there and say, ain't no fun unless the homies can get them some.
All
This
right,
would be
then.
cool if I could have this moment in memory with somebody that was truly, genuinely happy to have the moment in memory with me. Not Dr. Nicole, not Gary with the T, not Crystal the expert, just Nicole,
Yeah.
just Gary, just Crystal.
Ooh.
Those moments are yummy.
Well, this has been a fabulous episode of Yummy Podcast.
Yes.
Gary, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Thank you for
welcome.
your authenticity.
Yes.
Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for sharing your tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
and that tea is honey
appreciate
with
you.
lemon juice.
With tea with lemon juice. So you guys keep following us. Thank you for watching Yummy Podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.